You. 7 degrees in Chicago, Juliana. Wow. Vanita from Anderson. I'm so excited you're here. We got Oceanside from Anderson, an email ad, 360 member with Eric. This is awesome. Cool. So you guys are all my peoples. Whether you're Infinity or Anderson, you're in the right place. If you're just one of my regular followers like Juliana, welcome. I'm really excited to deliver some high value for you guys today. Do me a favor in the chat. Will you just let me know is is time management something that you've struggled with for a while, or is this new for you? Sandra's my 360 Pro friend. Grand Junction, Colorado. It's sunny. Nice, Julie. For a long time. New to time management being a struggle. Okay. New to time management being a struggle a while. Always. James, I love your transparency. I'm worse at time management now. You know what? Just so you know, you're not alone. What I have noticed that there's folks that as we get older, and as soon as I got into I turned 50 last year, and I realized that we tend to slow down upstairs if we don't keep things sharp, right? And then sometimes we get really excited because, oh, there's not much time left. I'm getting older and we want to take on the world. How many of you are like, I want to take on the world and I just want to do it all because I don't have much time left? Put a one in the chat if that's you. If you're like, man, I got to accomplish as much as I can before my time is up on this earth. Yeah. Okay. So you're my people. High achievers, right? We have the high achievers curse. How many of you get really satisfied when you accomplish a goal? Or how many of you are like, okay, cool, what am I going to do next? And you don't even stop to smell the roses. Put a 33 in the chat if that's you. If you're like, cool, hit my goal, moving on to the next thing. If that's you, you are definitely my people. Julie, yes. Joe's here. Joe Bogachek's here. And Tanya's here from Hawaii. Aloha. Look at this. We've got all of our cool peoples here. This is awesome. I'm excited. So the good news is this is a room full of high achievers, and we all have the achiever's curse. We set out to do something, work our tails off to get there. As soon as we get it, it's like, oh, that was a bit anticlimactic. Let's do the next thing, right? We're all in search of that dopamine hit of climbing and getting to the next level or doing the next thing. And the truth is, the reason why we do that is we're all in search of a feeling. How many of you know exactly what feeling you're looking for when you get to check the box off and say, that's done? Do I have any checklisters here? If you're a checklister, put a 22 in the chat. I'm a checklister and I'm proud of it. I love to check stuff off. Yeah, of course you do. It's awesome. Get a little dopamine hit, don't you? This is great. You guys have so much in common. Are you noticing how many people are actually putting in the chat? It's almost everyone. This is amazing. Well, that doesn't actually surprise me. So when you're a checklister, sometimes here's what happens. How many of you have a checklist that's a few pages long? I crossed them off several times. If you have a checklist that's several pages long, put yes in the chat. It just keeps stacking. Okay. Okay. And how many of those checklisted items are really tasky things like, it could be at a keystroke level, just a list of all the little tiny things. They're like little pebbles. And when you look at the list, you're like, oh my God, it can be overwhelming. How many of you get overwhelmed with your list? Yes, me. Yeah, me in the chat if you get overwhelmed. Perfect. Okay. How many of you make it a mission to not go to bed or maybe not stop working until the list is done? Because I know that there's that side of the equation as well. How many of you are like, I make a checklist for the day, and as soon as my checklist is done for the day, I'm happy and I'll create tomorrow's checklist and I'm going to go to bed and I'm just going to get back to checklisting tomorrow. Anybody have that level of discipline? Put a 44 in the chat if that's you. If you're a unicorn and do that. No, I'm going to bed. Okay. So we have a good balance. We have a good balance. We have some folks who are like, you know what? Yeah, I work off a checklist. I set my intention for the day on what I want to accomplish. And I work through that checklist. And then at the end of the day, as long as my items, I used to call it my sundown list. These are all the things that I need to get done before the sun goes down or before I quit work. And I learned that in my 20s because guess what? I wasn't always a master at bending time. So I've had to learn this over the years, over 30 years, trying to figure out how can I bend time, create time, get the most out of my time, and not feel like I'm losing my soul along the way, right? And that's kind of what I want to share with you guys today. Today, I want to walk you through my exact planning system. I'm even going to bring up for you. This is something that I've done and I've trained inside of our academy many times. And I'm going to share with you what I share with our students. And it's my exact time blocking system and how I plan and prioritize. I'm even going to share the document with you. If you think that would be helpful, put a 49 in the chat because I'm giving you gold. We're 49ers today. Not that I like the 49ers football team. I just want to go ahead and put that out there. But we're going for gold today. Awesome. Okay. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to ask the Infinity support team if you guys can please somebody drop the link to the document. I want everybody to be able to access this document. Click on the link because I'm going to share my screen and start going through and teaching you my system. So before you open this up and before y'all hit send, I want to give a little bit of a caveat here. So I want you to understand that this is a process that you have to commit to doing weekly. I personally do it every Sunday. So every Sunday I sit down and I ask myself, what do I need to accomplish for the week? When I look at that list and I plug it into 4 different quadrants that I'm going to teach you today. Once I have them in those quadrants, I then break it down and I ask myself, what can I chunk up so I don't have a laundry list of these minuscule tasky things and tactics, and I just have like a chunk of this is really, when I chunk it up, this is really what I need to do. And these are the subtasks. And then I can look and see who can I delegate the subtasks to, or do I have to do them all myself? And it helps me plan my week. Then once I have that in place, I then look at my week by day, by hour, and I go and I block off when I'm going to do these specific tasks in up to 90-minute time increments. That's what I want to share with you today. So knowing that to be true, I need you all to commit to taking at least 2 hours, 1 day a week to plan your week. If you're going to do that, I want you to put Sunday in the chat because, well, that's what I do. On Sunday, I plan the next week. And on Sunday, it's a ritual. When you have rituals, you're successful. Because if you say you're going to do something, but then don't do it, you have to live with you for the rest of your life. So wouldn't it be better if we just did what we said we were going to do? And the best way to do that is to plan. My dad taught me something at a very young age. He used to tell me, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that was ingrained into every fiber of my body. So I'm the type of kid that grew up every night. I got my pants, my socks, my shoes, my chonies, my shirt, my jacket, everything that I was going to wear the next day was laid out in the order I was going to put it on. I took my shower at night, slept, woke up, got dressed in the order that it was stacked. Can you tell I was raised by a military man? I literally did it in that order so that I was ready to go. There was no decision to be made in the morning. I knew exactly what I was going to wear the night before. So I jumped into my clothes. I even knew exactly what I was going to eat the next day. And I had it on the shelf in the kitchen to make sure that my brother and my sisters and nothing got in the way. And I didn't have to worry about, being some kind of little runt. You imagine a runt trying to get in there in the morning. Well, I didn't want to have to scurry around in the kitchen. I wanted to make sure that I could be on time. Our youngest daughter is almost exactly the same. She is so into how can I be on time? She goes to bed really early, plans all of her stuff. She's up, she's out the door. You could be having a conversation with her at 6:49 and she knows she has to leave at 6:50. She's looking at you and she's looking at the clock. Can I go now? I have to go. I have to go because she wants to be on time. I'm that person, right? So I've always been aware of time and realizing that it was a resource that I never wanted to squander, but I didn't have the skills to figure that out. And I had to learn it. I literally learned it from my dad. So I'm going to teach you what he taught me. And he would sit down every week. He would plan out his week and he would go through and he would chunk his time, then assign it to a day that he was going to do it. I never got it when I was a kid, even though he tried to explain it to me. But as I grew up and started to implement it, it made sense. So that's what I want to cover with you guys today. And that's what we're going to go through. So let's get that link in there. Let's get the link in there. I'm going to open up and share my screen so you can see mine. Can somebody on the team allow me to share? I mean, I am trying to teach here. I go to share and it doesn't work. Okay, here we go. Let me try this one more time. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. What I want you to do is I want you to come over here to the file, make a copy. Then I want you to put in your name like this. So yeah, your name, and then save it to wherever you're going to save it and click make a copy. That way it's yours. you keep it. My gift to you. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through mine. So I literally did this on Sunday. This is my time blocking management system. What you're going to do when we look at this form, I'm just going to give you a quick overview, then we're going to dive in. Okay. So here's the overview. The overview is this. This is the quadrants on the, when you think about the median, the line right here, everything above the line means high payoff. It means you're going to get some form of a return on your investment in time. Now, it could be a return on your investment in time in the form of money. It could be a return on your investment in time in terms of a more enriched relationship. It could be a return on your investment of time spent. As a result of that, you're getting something in return. Now, below the line is low payoff. It means it's the non-value added crap you must do in order to live, like pay bills, shower, all those little things that you have to do, pay taxes, right? And if you want to pay less taxes, make sure you're listening to Toby Mathis. My whole point is everything below the line is a low payoff. You have to spend the time, but you're not going to get a whole bunch of reward as a result of it. It's kind of just the cost of life. So what we do is we're going to sort through what your list is that I'm going to have you create here in a moment, and we're going to put them into the quadrants with you thinking about it. I want to teach you how to think through this versus me just giving you a system. I want you to think about it when you're in the system. So what you're going to ask yourself when we make this list is, well, is this something that's a very high burning, pressing priority that's going to give me a reward in exchange for the time that I burn? So is the juice worth the squeeze, and do I have to squeeze it right now? That's the best analogy, right? Then the next question, because I want you to spend the majority of your time on these two as often as possible and delegate down here. Even if it's a must, you might not have the team to delegate high priority, low payoff over here, like groceries, laundry, or outsource those yet. Eventually, your goal is to get to the point where you can outsource groceries and laundry. And what I mean by outsourcing groceries is I mean Instacart. It saves me a ton of time. I'm not too picky about vegetables and fruits and picking them out by myself. Like, I will have a shopper do that. Got 4 kids, a lot of businesses, not much time. So Instacart's my friend. And the fee to have Instacart is lower than what it would cost me to personally go to the store, in terms of I could be burning those calories, making money, bringing in a property, bringing in cash flow. So I want you to start thinking about, if you're not there yet, your goal eventually is to get this box right here to the point where you can outsource that. Okay. I want you to be asking yourself this question when you're filling this out. Is it a must? Do I have to get it done this week? Is it the deadline pressing? If not, then it's not going to go in this, it's going to go on this column, and it's going to be for maybe next week. Okay. Because what the goal is to take everything in the high priority, high payoff, and anything that's in here in the second column, and we're going to put that in the weeks ahead, like what we need to do for the week. And same here. If we need to get anything on here done, we're going to plan it on Sunday for the week that's coming up. So these are mine. High priority, high payoff. I have to launch our monthly 300 call, which we did. We already selected a date. We did a communication plan for that. WowCon, we have that April 4th through 6th. It's an internal fulfillment event for our students where we teach them in-depth real estate strategies. Then I have Raise Fest. It's an event where there's 1,000 investors in the crowd and the audience, and I was asked to come be the closing speaker at that event. So I have to put together my talk, and then I have to get that talk approved, and I got to go through all the powers that be to make sure that I'm using the format that they want their audience to see. So that's a big priority, and I want to serve those people. So it's right there because it's due by Friday. Then I have my YouTube channel that's being launched, and I start recording tomorrow. I also have these client-specific hypnosis and meditations that I'm creating for some of my one-on-one clients. And I have 6 VIP days that I'm trying to fulfill on and finish scheduling. Plus, I'm getting my Unshackled course translated to Hebrew because I have a following over in Israel based on a student that's over there and a one-on-one client that's over there they're spreading the word about the work that I'm doing with them, and everybody's like, hey, I want this. So I'm having that course translated into Hebrew. It's almost done. There's only one piece where she's going to record the hypnosis in her own voice because she speaks Hebrew and I don't. So, but that's coming up soon, right? So I took all of that information plus groceries, laundry. I already know that I'm going to do Instacart. I already know laundry. We use a service called Poplin. We've got 4 kids plus us. Those laundry bags go out and they come back within 48 hours, all freshly folded, and we put it all away. It's a great service that saves time. Now, when it comes to towels, blankets, and all that stuff, well, my kids, they can earn living here. They can do that stuff. It'd be great. Or car detailing, kids can do that too. House cleaning, kids could do that too. There's a lot of different things that we can do where if you have kids and you can start teaching those responsibilities. So we choose to teach them those responsibilities. We don't want our kids to grow up entitled trust fund children. We want them to actually be contributing humans in society and understand the beauty in doing some work, right? So I took all of these deliverables right here. And what I did is I went down and I planned them. Here's how you have to do it. The first thing is I have to ask myself these questions. So I listed them all right here at a detailed level. So projects and deliverables. Well, I also on a daily basis do a 100-day journal. For those of you that were with me in December, if you went to the VIP day for the Anderson clients, I led a really cool 100-day journal planning activity. I'm going to do that in February for anybody that wants to come. I'm going to do one of those just here virtually and walk everybody through it. And I'll talk more about that at the end of this training. So I also have this coming up weekend, January, actually in 10 days, my retreat. So I have all of my one-on-one clients coming to my house and I'm doing hot seats. I'm doing business development. I'm helping them with their marketing plans. They're going to create reels, record, do all these things. Plus I have 2 VIP days that I have to fulfill on. So that's basically January for me. That was at a high level of this is what I really have pressing that I need to make sure I get done next week. February, because this is just the next 3 months at a high level at a glance. February, I have my Raise Fest 25. I got to create the speaker deck. I have to do the marketing for that event. I have to fill my WowCon War Room with all the registrations and fill 4 VIP days in February. Then in March, I'm launching, even though I'm recording tomorrow, I'm starting the recordings, we pull those recordings, then I have to launch the channel. So sometimes when you're planning things that are 3 months from now, you have to take action today for a deliverable that's 3 months from now. If you understand that, give me a thumbs up on the emojis. Let's play with emojis since I can't toggle back and forth from the chat so much. Yeah, you get that, right? Sometimes in order to hit a goal that's 90 days from now, we've got to be doing some things every day. So I like to get it at a glance for the next 3 months. What are some of the things that I need to get done so that I can start doing and taking some action to move myself that way? So in March, I'm launching that YouTube channel, but I will have recorded in January and February a bunch of videos that I can launch. Then I'm also recording 4 behavioral conditioning hypnosis tracks for my clients. And the Unshackled course will be finalized in that translation to Hebrew. We'll be able to launch it. And we're going to Costa Rica for the Homes of Hope trip with our WOW community. So those are the things that are they're the big rocks. Those are the big rocks of what I'd like to accomplish for the next 3 months. You're going to fill yours out as well. Then I go down a little bit, right? So I take those and I bring them down. When I bring them down, this is leverage means the L. If you have a leverage here, it means you can delegate it or you have a resource or you have a team or you have an outsourcing company where you can put that off of your plate. So for example, for me, the first thing that I had here was I need to launch the monthly 300 call, which meant I needed to identify all the dates for 2025, have the team set up all the logistics of the call, communicate it to all of my 300 members, and develop an agenda and a cadence for that call so that I'm delivering value to them. And then anytime you have a goal of what you want to do, you must go to the right and you have to ask yourself, what result do I want? And why do I want that result? If you don't do this, then you're not going to be strongly associated to making sure it happens. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense for you. I'm going to walk you through this. So what do I want? I want to create monthly calls with our WOW Elite 300 members to continue developing them into wealth circulators. Why do I want that? Wealth circulation is a big value of mine. It's huge. It's at the very top. I want to build a cash flowing machine together with them so that we can give back, so that we all have so much money that we can actually give back to those that are facing adversity or in need. So you have to ask yourself this question on your form. Now, other thing, and the thing is that it only takes about 2 hours to get all of this stuff done. I have a team, so I made it very clear. Here's exactly what we want to accomplish. Here is why I want to accomplish it. So for those of you that have a team, it's very important to associate your team to the why so they understand the value that they are bringing by executing this flawlessly for you. So if you have a team, can you put team in the chat so I know? I want to get an idea of if I need to get more in depth with those of you that might have a team. If you run a business and you have a team, Tanya has a team, perfect. Yeah. Okay. So some of you have a team. That's beautiful. When it comes to communicating with your team, getting them associated, as you know, if you associate them to why the task needs to be done and the value that they're bringing and their role and the importance of their role in doing that task, they're going to be committed, they're going to be motivated, and they're going to perform really well, right? Okay. Now, the next thing I have to do is the Ascension Collective Mastermind. So I already hired an event planner. I created the agenda and the communication plan. It's about 10 hours worth of work, but I leveraged about 90% of that through the event planner. Now, why? What did I want to create? What do I want? Well, I want to create the space for my one-on-one clients to unwind, recharge, focus, plan, play, network, and most of all, implement. Why do I want that? Because I want to create a community where we have life-lasting relationships. They lift one another up on their journeys. Yeah. Being a part of a community has made a huge difference in my life. So I value community. Therefore, that's exactly why I want to do it. You're going to notice all of my values are in this column, and you're going to notice the same thing for yourself when you're filling this out. Why do you want to do something? 9 times out of 10, it's to get a feeling, and the feeling is based on something you value highly. Okay. The other thing, next thing I had was VIP days. I had to enroll the last 2 spots for January, open up 4 VIP dates for February, select the dates that I had available, date ranges, because if I'm going to tell you, hey, come do a 6-hour VIP day with me, here's everything you're going to get. I need to make sure that I have a range of dates that would be acceptable for somebody to actually carve out 6 hours with me. So I have to be flexible. So I have to look at that calendar in advance. And the good news is I looked at it last November and I blocked off those date ranges. So I'm prepared. Right. So it goes back to the, when you want to do something 3 months from now, sometimes you have to take action today. Right. Then I have to do the one-on-one sessions in January, schedule weekly one-on-one follow-up meetings. Well, what do I want to accomplish? I personally want to be the safe space for my one-on-one clients to explore their limitations, release their trapped emotions, rewrite their story, and then create their 90-day action plan to step into their new identity. Now, why would I want that? It's a ripple effect. I want to unshackle those one-on-one clients so they step into that power and they create the life that they want and deserve. So it's a really big value for me. It's a ripple effect because I have overcome things that I can now teach them how to overcome it faster. It makes me feel good inside. So the value is it's a ripple effect. The reach is happening, and then they're going to turn around and they're going to do something good for other people. Now, Raise Fest, by the way, the VIP days, you see this asterisk right here? I have to put an asterisk there because that means me and only me can do those VIP days. Nobody else. I don't hire another contractor to do it. If somebody enrolls, to the VIP day, they get that VIP day with me. So only I can do it. And if only I can do it, I put an asterisk. If it's something only you can do, you need to put an asterisk, because then you know if it's only something you can do, if there's some tasks that you need to do to lead up to hit that goal within 3 months, then man, you got to make sure that you're on top of that. Now it's 10 hours for me to plan all of this stuff. It is not just 10 hours for me to execute it. So when it comes time to next week, when I sit down and I have a VIP day, if I have 2 in the same week, then this is going to go to 12 hours. But I'll know that. So you have to understand your bandwidth, how long it takes you to get somewhere or do something so that you can plan it out accordingly. Now, Raise Fest, I had to create the video to market it to everybody. I've created 2 so far. It's already out on social media. I created the deck, the talk. I identified all the people that I'm going to be breaking arrows with. How many of you actually know that I break arrows on people's throats to make them believe in themselves? How many of you didn't know that? Put arrow in the chat if that just shocked you and you didn't know. A lot of you do know, but so for those of you that don't know, one of the things that I do is it's a demonstration to show you the power of belief in yourself. And we take a 40-pound arrow that could kill a grizzly bear, and you put the tip of that arrow right here. If you just reach into your collarbone right here, you feel a little notch. There's a little notch where both collarbones come together into a little V. That notch is where the arrow goes. It feels like it's the softest part of your body. And the arrow goes here, and then there's a board where the butt of the arrow and the feathers are, and you step in and snap that arrow with your throat. I've had every single person that has attempted it actually break the arrow, and then they go on to do incredible things that they thought were absolutely impossible. So at Raise Fest, I got permission to do an arrow break. So we're trying to identify who's going to do that arrow break, and I'm super excited about it because, well, It's my favorite thing to do besides board breaks. And one day, I'm just going to put it out there because I know Stacy's going to kill me, but one day I am going to learn how to get people to swallow fire. All right. If you would swallow fire with me, put a 29 in the chat. If you think I'm nuts, don't put anything in the chat. Just stick to your beliefs on your own time. Does anybody want to sample arrow break video? If you do, put arrow in the chat. No, I think we have one. If you want to see one of the arrow breaks, for those of you that want to see it, I think the team's asking. 29, Terry has done it before. You swallowed fire, Terry? Oh, Terry scored. I need to talk to you. Okay, we're going to show you guys an arrow break when we get it. Tell me when you're ready. Oh, she's ready. Okay, I'm going to highlight this so I remember that we're still talking about that. Or else I might forget. Okay, let's show an arrow break really quick. How many of you are going to Raise Fest or didn't even know what Raise Fest was until I spoke about it? It's for real estate investors. It's pretty cool. February in Phoenix. I believe it's going to be in Phoenix. Yeah. Raise Fest or didn't even know what Raise Fest was until I spoke about it. It's for real estate investors. It's pretty cool. February in Phoenix. I believe it's going to be in Phoenix. Yeah. Raise Fest or didn't even know what Raise Fest was until I spoke about it. It's for real estate investors. It's pretty cool. February in Phoenix. I believe it's going to be in Phoenix. Yeah. I didn't even know what Raise Fest was. It's for real estate investors. It's pretty cool. February in Phoenix. I believe it's going to be in Phoenix. Yeah. As a matter of fact, that was Kareen. She's the one over in Israel that I've been working with one-on-one, and all of her friends want to get the course. So that's fun. Yeah, so that was pretty cool, right? She was terrified, but she did it anyways. And now guess what she's doing? Not only does she do real estate investing, but she's creating this automated like thingamabobber that does deals, and it's cool. So that'll be coming out soon. I can't talk about more. I can't talk about it too much. It's all like secret squirrel stuff, but not only did she overcome her fear, but she stepped into a new identity of creator and creating ways to get real estate deals done in a more systemic fashion. So when you break an arrow on your throat, you wake up to a whole nother identity of what's possible for you. So it's really exciting for me. I love to do it. So the reason why what do I want? I want to create the most inspirational talk for 1,000+ investors. Why? Because I want to instill belief in every soul so that they see what they're capable of and they chase their dreams with confidence and certainty and not sitting there stuck and afraid. Isn't that more empowering if they actually have confidence and belief in themselves? Well, the thing is that I was able to craft my message knowing exactly what to say to get folks to believe that. But one thing I am not very good at is creating presentations, which is why you're sitting here looking at a Google Sheet with me or a Google Doc instead of a deck. Because unless I give somebody, hey, can you make a deck? There's going to be no deck. You're just going to get me on screen with a couple of documents and then I'll share them with you. So what I did is I created what I want to say and I gave it to our executive assistant, Svetlana, and asked her, can you please create my PowerPoint and then send it off for me because I want it to say these things. She does that for me. So I have leverage again. Now, the next thing that I'm working on is the WowCon War Room. So the first thing that we thought was, in order to teach, we had 62 brand new students that they're still working towards getting their first deal. And what we really value is results. So when they're inside of our academy, if we notice, hey, these guys haven't got a deal yet, we need to create a more advanced training room, if you will, something similar to what Toby had done on that VIP day for Anderson clients, where we dive in and go deep at round tables and we identify, here's some of the things that'll get you into the end zone. Here's how you negotiate a deal. Let's do some role playing. So what I wanted to do, and Stacy and I talked about, was we should poll the students and see what do they want so we can meet them and where they are and deliver what they want. So that's what we did. That was the first step, polling them, figuring out what they wanted. Once we knew what they wanted, we created the agenda and then we created a registration page, announced the event and communicated that, hey, we only have the space for 60 people. So the first 60 get in, you're in. Now, what do we want? What do we want to create? We want to create a workshop environment where those students work side by side and they learn hands-on directly from Stacy and I. No outside speakers are there. It's just Stacy and I, where they get that undivided attention. And every time we do one of these events, there's about 25 deals that come out of it. So we're really excited and we get passionate about it. And what that is, why we want to do it, is the impact. We ensure our students get into their first deal and beyond, which is what our top value is in our academy. So that event is super critical. And I wanted to make sure that it was done right. I do have leverage. I have a team that's helping us leverage it, but I also have some responsibilities that I have to do, right? So there's a time where, because there's still some things you have to do, there might be a L and an asterisk. So I wanted to save this so that I could show it to you. The L with the 10 is my team. The asterisk, where I'm going to have to do stuff, is literally an 8. I have 8 hours of personal business that I'm going to need to pour into that event within the next couple of weeks. So I have to plan for that. Then we've got the Jen Conkey YouTube channel, and I'm going to show you the same thing. I have a team. I hired a team to create and manage and develop that strategy, recording the videos and doing the marketing and communication plan. And again, the 10 hours is them when it comes to me. And all I have to do in this situation is show up, smile, and record content. So it's an hour. It's 1 hour every single week. Why do I want to do that? What is it that I'm trying to create? I'm trying to create inspirational, actionable content that will transform lives. Why? Because of reach. I want all of my followers, I want to influence them to achieve and sustain self-mastery so that they take consistent action with consistency and confidence and certainty. It's a really big value of mine. If I can reach more people and more people have self-mastery, it will have a ripple effect and change the world. So I feel that the YouTube channel is a big, big priority for me. It's why I finally decided to do it. Okay. This was my process. If that was helpful for me to walk you through that, put heck yes, Jen. Do you check things off at this point? I love you, Tanya. Tanya's like, when do I get to check shit off? How many of you are like, Tanya, when do I get to check this off? Right? This is amazing. Okay. Yes. Now, here's the thing. I want to walk you through this part. This is how you're going to go through and list it all out. Then we go through. I'm going to teach you guys in February, for those of you that feel this would be beneficial. Can we drop the link for the Amazon 100-day journal? I am going to recommend that you buy this journal. The link that's coming in, it's maybe $14 on Amazon. It's 18? Okay, maybe $18, but I'm going to tell you, I've built 3 multi-million-dollar businesses using this journal. I use it every 100 days. I have many sitting around that are empty, so that when I'm done, I just grab the next one and I do it. We teach our students how to use it. I teach people how to use this journal because I believe in it so much. It's where you have a goal, and for 100 days, you are laser focused on that goal and you want to accomplish it. Now, in my 100-day journal, because I live and breathe by it, I go through, and on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I do my 100-day journal. I will also do a form of meditation. I will also record a reel and post a reel. Plus, I don't know if you know this, but I can't remember what streak I'm on, but Duolingo, I'm learning Italian. I got to show you guys this. I don't know if you'll care, but I'm on a 145-day streak. Hold on. I want them to believe me. And by the way, my bird is upset right now. Let's see if I can get it in here. Oh, it's blurry. Never mind. Anyways, it's a 145-day streak on Duolingo. I'm learning Italian, y'all. So I always want to be feeding my mind, learning something new to try and keep it sharp. Duolingo, 145 days of Italian. Yes, let's go. Dove sei? Come tu chiami? Like, I'm learning it. I don't know if my accent's very good. How many of you speak Italian? Or speak Spanish? I know how to speak Spanish. Tenemos que hablar más español. Like, I know how to do different languages. And it's a different way to challenge your brain, because when you're learning something new, our brains are elastic. They're, they stretch, they mold, and they shape into new things. So I'm like, how can I do at least a little bit of Duolingo every single day? And I'll be damned if I break that streak. I'm not breaking it. So what I'll do is, this is going to go in my 100-day journal every single day, as it's part of my rituals. Monday, I went and I looked at what I needed to do. Well, I have my one-on-one client calls with Corinne and Kevin. I announced the WowCon. I did the property calls. We did I actually didn't go. Stacy went. I ended up, we had one of our kids was really sick, so I didn't end up going, but Stacy did. But we have the property tour call that we do. Plus we have property calls for our own portfolio, and then social media engagement. I do that at the end of every night. Sometimes during the day, I just go on and I check in on who's commenting on my stuff. How can I inspire them today and keep them moving, right? Tuesday, one-on-one client call with JP. That was just yesterday. Plus we had our academy call. I went there and met some new people. The WowCon message number 2 went out today, plus social media engagement. Yesterday, I decided, you know what? Our Facebook algorithm is dead and dormant because we have a lot of people in there that aren't active anymore. So I just made one simple post and I got 170 comments in 20 minutes. And all I said was, hey, if you're active in this group, put the state that you live in so that I know not to remove you. But those that aren't in there anymore, we need to remove them so the algorithm stays going. And there's just little things like that that I think of so that we can stay in front of the crowd that's actually looking for our content, right? Today, had a one-on-one call with Jenny and Craig. It went amazing, in case you were wondering. Then we had a planning event for my Unshackled event in November. Went through the entire thing with our event planner. And then right now I'm doing the time mastery blueprint. This is how you know I'm not lying. This training right now is on here, on the form. When we're done, I'll go do social media engagement because I'm sure all of you are going to post and go, oh, just learned all this cool shit with Jen. You got to know. And if you didn't plan on doing that, now you do, don't you? And then tomorrow, YouTube recordings. I shared that with you. I got the equipment. We're going to do it in a podcast style. I've never done it that way. Or like have the microphone and it's like hanging and stuff and you look all official, Joe Rogan status. I don't know. That's just what he told me to try. So we're going to try that. And then WowCon message number 3, just trying to get it out there and get people in so that we can get our first 60. And as soon as we know what 60 are coming, it's a lot easier for us to start planning. Friday, I have my Ascension Collective Mastermind call with all of my one-on-ones. We do more property calls for our portfolio and then social media management and engagement. Saturday, family day, date night. By the way, if you are married, make sure you go on a weekly date. We did these really cool, if you haven't heard of it, we did a board and brush double date with my cousin. And we went and did this cool project. Like you pick it out and then you go there and you get to paint shit and put it all together. And it's really beautiful. And then you bring it home and it's like you created something together and then it's a memory and it's really fun. So we like to do really cool things. I just did this. I booked she's not listening. She's not paying attention. I booked a candlelight orchestra. Have you ever seen those candlelight orchestra concerts? Like there's all these really cool things. When COVID was around, there was date night in a box because we couldn't go anywhere. But I tell you, please, please, please consider doing a weekly date night. It'll really enrich your relationship where you don't talk about anything other than you, your dreams, your goals, how's it going, check in with one another. It makes your relationship thrive. If you don't make time for that, by the time the kids are gone, you guys aren't going to have anything in common anymore because the kids are gone. And I don't want to be an empty nester. So we date weekly. And then on Sunday, I will tell you this. And I was just telling our teenage son, our oldest son, I was telling him the other day, like I learned from my dad a long time ago. I learned from Papa, don't do anything on Sunday other than reflect on your week, relax, rest, recharge, and plan next week. Try as hard as you can to just stay calm. And there's like a visual that I'd like to try to explain because I don't have it to show you. But if you think about, I'm getting old. So you remember those Metamucil commercials and there's like a pure glass of water and then they pour the Metamucil and then they stir it and it's like a little tornado inside the glass. Sometimes if you don't take the time to relax, recharge, focus, and fill yourself up, it feels like that Metamucil glass. It's just like everything is spinning around and we don't have any clarity and we're in a beta survival brainwave. But if you just let the glass chill, pretty soon all the Metamucil, this is just disgusting, especially since I know it's for fiber. Sorry. It all starts to settle down and the solids start to separate from the water and you can then see clearly through the water and all the solids are at the bottom. That's how I view Sundays. Like I need to take the spoon out of the cup, set it down, let the sediment fall down, get clear, get recharged, and see the problems in a different light. And 9 times out of 10, when I do that, and then I go to bed on Sunday, I wake up on Monday with answers. And how many of you are like, you know what, on Mondays, manic Mondays are the worst. Like Monday's my favorite day because I wake up with clarity. Wake up with clarity because of how I approach Sunday and planning the week. So I'd like to invite you to do the same thing. Every Sunday, if you just take 2 hours to just chill, do a little me time. I like to give that analogy of when you're going, and your cup is just getting lower and lower and lower. And yet you're trying to do things for others. You're serving from your cup before you're filling your cup. You got to fill your cup till it overflows and then serve others from the plate. That's the best analogy. So Sunday is when I fill my cup back up so that it's overflowing, and then I could serve from the plate. If I don't do that, my energy is low, and then I don't show up to these trainings in a way that serves you and makes things make sense, where it's actually value added. So make sure you take a day. If it's not Sunday, that's fine. If you just take a day a week where you take 2 hours to relax, recharge, refocus, and plan next week. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Here's where I would like to invite you guys to go do your plan. Who would be okay with that? Put heck yes in the chat. If you want to take the opportunity, Metamucil Sunday, Jenny, yes. This is amazing. You guys are funny. Who would like to take the opportunity to then, let's go and do yours. So I showed you Jen's time blocking form. Now you have yours, your time mastery. I want you guys to just make a list. Let's do a data dump. Let's do a data dump where I want you to just start listing off right here all the things you need to do next week on your own form. Let's take a moment here and just start thinking about, or even this week, what are some of the things, let's finish out this week, right? What are some of the things you need to get done on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? If you hadn't considered, this is one that you need to make sure you plan, a date night. And if you don't have somebody that you're dating, then, you can go figure out what your friends are doing so that you can go find a date. Friends count too, right? What are some other things? Yes, Brandy, you will get a replay. What are some other things that might need to happen? Like, how many of you are willing to put a couple of ideas in the chat and I'll add them here? Who's here? I want to see. Well, we got 93 people. That's awesome. Taxes. There we go. Thank you, Des. Taxes. God, I'd rather have a boil on my butt. That's why Stacy does taxes. Put documents. Okay. Yes. Documents. How many of you got to pay some bills? Trip planning. That's amazing, Wilfred. Yes. Where are you going? And for those of you that are doing host and panelists, not everybody could see you. So go to the blue box and select everyone so that we can all see your comments, because I'm getting a flood of just hosts and panelists. Fund IRAs. I love that, Tony. Yes. Fund my IRAs. Determine what you need to do for the team. Okay, yeah, team projects and delegation. What are some other things you guys got to do? What are the big rocks? Plan a workshop. Yes, Ruth, that's awesome. Plan a workshop. A weekend getaway with my wife. Yes. Oh God, can I come? I need a weekend getaway. There's these really cool places that you can go. I don't know where you live, Wilfred. Set up a sales page for my business. Yes, that's going to bring revenue in. And you know what? If you do that after the weekend getaway, you're going to be nice and clear. Set up sales page for business. Open business bank account. Look at this. I got a big list right here. This is awesome. Thank you, Jennifer Griffin. Open business bank account for my new corporation. Trust funds into self-directed IRA. Trip plan and budget analysis for upcoming WOW events. Schedule at least 2 value-added social media posts for LinkedIn and Facebook. Complete final module for my Intuit Academy bookkeeping certification. Keep going. That is amazing. Now, I'm going to take Jen's list. Jennifer has this amazing list. When you have this list, now we got to ask ourselves, when you do this brain dump, reach out, Paula, reach out to possible coaching clients. Yes. Now, let's just start with that one. Reach out to possible coaching clients. Is that a high priority, high payoff, low priority, high pay? And I want to see everybody's comments. Low priority, high payoff. Is it a high priority, no payoff, low priority, low payoff? Which one do you think it is? To reach out to possible coaching clients. High, high, exactly. It's high, high. So what I want you to do is I want you each, because you each have this list, go through and ask yourself, where are all of my high, high? I'm telling you right now, a weekend getaway, that's a high, high. Because if you prioritize it, make a big splash, and the relationship gets enriched, you're going to get a lot of value from that. Setting up a sales page for a business, that's high, high. Team projects and delegation, is that high or is it low? Is it also high, high? It's high, high. Funding my IRAs, that's high, high. I want you to think and ask yourself, when you have this list that you've gone through, ask yourself, what in the world is high, high on here? That it's a high priority, it's going to give me a high payoff. It's either going to bring in cash, or it's going to have potential future cash, or it's going to bring some sort of great feeling or filling a bucket in the relationship that's going to make me perform better, stay in a peak flow, because I'm not worried about how shitty my relationship is. It's actually really good. So now I could focus on revenue producing activities, right? So ask yourself that question when you are assessing this list. So what you'll do is, next to this, you will go and you will put it's high, high, right? This is also high, high. You notice how you guys all basically gave me high highs? And you're going to put that in here for all of them. Then you're going to color code those a color that makes you feel good. I like green, which is why when you go to mine, everything's in green. That's the high, high that I'm going to do. What we're really trying to do here is we're trying to identify those high priority, high payoff first. You're going to have some low priority, high payoff. You're going to need to do those. And then you're going to have some high priority, low payoff that just, they have to be done. They're value added tasks that must be done. I will tell you, funding an IRA is one of them. You might think that it would be a high payoff because you're funding the IRA and then you're going to use it to invest, but it's actually just a non-value added task that has to be done in order to accomplish the higher priority, the higher payoff. So then once it's done, you'll have a high priority, high payoff task that says, get a freaking property. And then that is the high, high. Does that make sense? Say yes, Jen, in the chat if that makes sense, please. Okay, perfect. I do green for money-making activities. So do I. Green's my favorite color. In fact, I have a hypnosis that I led everybody through during my Unshackled event that basically embedded the color green. And anytime they saw it, to, hey, money's coming your way. And when you start to believe that, guess what? Money starts to come your way. You start seeing things differently. You start seeing opportunities to make more money. Can you please put the link in the chat again? I was on the phone. Yeah, okay. We got that for you. I love green. So do I. Des, thanks for sharing that link. Okay, now, once you have this list and you've identified all of your HHs, I want you to take your HHs and you're going to copy it and you're going to paste it in your appropriate quadrant. Right? And then we had on here, we had, what was it? Bills. Bills, well, that's unfortunately, it's HL. And I like HLs in like a maroon color, you know, like we'll do this. It's kind of like, well, that's crap, but I gotta do it. Then you've got the documents for taxes. That's a high priority, low payoff also. Gotta do it, don't wanna do it, must do it. So here it goes. And it goes down here because it's also an HL. I'm just trying to look for all of these. These would be here. I don't know why it's doing the color blocks, but you know, I'm not even keeping the same color green. Sorry, you guys. I do people, not technology, y'all. Oh, wrong color. Let me move this out of the way. That's probably my problem. Yeah, that was my problem. Okay. Right. So now, when you think about low priority, high payoff, if you have any of those, you can bring them over here. But for the most part, what we're trying to get done, if it's a low priority, high payoff, like, do we have to set the sales page up? Will that happen like in a day, in a week? Sometimes it can, right? But when I think about setting up a sales page for a business, I think about the backside of that and all the logistics and the emails and the nurture sequence and actually collecting the information. And then how do I have a cadence to reach out to those folks and nurture them and meet them where they are? I feel like it's a little bit longer of a burn. So I might say that when I'm putting that together, it's going to be right here on my high priority, high payoff for maybe 6 weeks, maybe, because I want to think about every step of that. Once I have that page created, I then need to figure out, well, what happens when people get into it and what triggers that? And do I need to create a process flow chart, all that stuff. But so I might have that on the HH list for a while. It might actually be part of the 100-day journal. Yeah, it is. It's a multi-day task. That's right, Wilfred. So just when you're thinking about things like that, you can do where that's a chunked up plan. And I love it because here's what we do. I'm going to bring that down. First, I'm going to show you. So this is what Wilfred would do. I'm going to take that down. We're going to bring it to projects and deliverables. Boom, paste that there. And then we're going to start typing in exactly what that means. So I need a landing page. I need registration stuff. I need email sequence. You just make a list of all those things. Then as you plan each of, this is what I call a chunk up. And then this is the checklist. So this is where, Tanya, you get to check shit off. How many of you are just like, let me know when I get to check something off, right? So this is, once we have it, you plan it all up here, then I know it seems redundant, but this is really going to keep you aligned to your goal and planning it at a detailed level. Then we paste it here and we start asking ourselves, can I leverage somebody to make that landing page? Can I leverage somebody to do the registration process? Can I leverage somebody to write those emails for me? Or do I have to do it? And how much time will it cost? What priority is it? What needs to come first, next, or last? Does that make sense? All right, put in the chat if you guys are following what I'm putting down, and you might have to watch this replay again to understand. But yes, that is exactly what you do. You're welcome, Wilfred. I'm so glad you're here, man. So, and I'm so glad you're doing a getaway. Pam, I am so glad you're motivated, Mama. Let's go. And I can't wait to see you at WowCon too. I know you might be coming. So here we go. Yeah, you will have to watch it again. Now, I want you to make a commitment to me. Because we went through this and I taught you in 53 minutes what it has taken me like 20 years to do. You have to practice it. So don't do it for a week and then when it doesn't do exactly what you want, then give up. Can you make a commitment to me? I want you to do this for the next 12 weeks. Because if you can do it for 12 weeks straight, follow this system, start planning that way, you're going to see a direct correlation to your life where you're more focused, you're hitting your goals. And more importantly, if you can do this for the next 4 weeks, every Sunday, just like you told me you would earlier, if you do it every single Sunday and plan it out, and then come to my February workshop where we're going to be diving in the 100-day journal. I'm going to teach you how to take the stuff we just did and then craft your 100-day journal in a way that you're unstoppable. Like you're a dog with a bone, a laser focused, and it's just going to happen. And then if you can follow that system for 100 days, then I've effectively taught you in a 6-month period how to plan your week, plan your month, quarter, 100 days, and eventually you'll learn how to plan your year that way. But it's going to take the reps and you've got to promise me you're going to do it. Okay. And if you do, it's going to change everything for you. So here's the thing. I think I'm trying really hard to figure out what are some additional topics that might be helpful for you. So we have a survey and I'm going to ask you, for those of you that take this survey and answer it honestly, because I'm thinking like, I have so many other things I could teach you. I could teach you strategic influence. I can teach you Tung Fu, like how to be a communication ninja. I can teach you how to manage the performance of your team or your kids or your life or your whatever, performance management when things aren't going well, how to have a difficult conversation and get it back on track. I can teach you behavior conditioning for yourself and others. I can teach you ultimately self-mastery. There's so many things that I could teach you that would enrich what your experience is in your life. But I want to know, and I want to get this survey from you to understand who you are, where you live, what you do, and what types of topics would best serve you. Okay. So if you take this survey for me, I'm telling you, I'm going to have my team email you a link for the free warrior mindset course so that you can have access to my warrior mindset course, then you take that too. Now, in that course, I teach you about what I call the resiliency factor. There's even an assessment in there where you assess yourself on when you're facing a challenge or a hurdle, how do you respond? What is your propensity to do X, Y, or Z? And how can you go do this? So if you take this survey, my team's going to email you that link so that you can get that mindset course absolutely free. I literally just want to get some information from you guys on what else I can create, because I believe in asking so that I can create the content that's going to actually serve the peoples. But is that fair? Can I get some, like, give me a thumbs up or a heart or something, if that makes sense. How many of you want to fill it out right now? And then tell me when you're done, and then let's, oh, they can't, it's not clickable. Dang. All right, let's see. Let me see if the team will fix this. I know they will. I have faith. If you click that link and fill it out, yeah, if you type it in manually, it might work. There it is. There it is. If you could just complete that survey right now, then say done. And then what that does for me is it makes it easier for our team to go back and see who did it. And then we can get your email from how you registered for this workshop. And then we'll cross correlate that and get you an email out. Okay. Was this helpful, you guys? You guys happy you came? Any questions? You can throw questions in the Q&A if you'd like. This is fun. I actually enjoy being able to, I didn't think I was a good teacher, but I think I'm getting better at teaching. So I'm always trying to do personal growth challenges. And I feel like I'm really good at giving a good inspirational stage talk. But I've been working for the past 18 months to try and become a really good teacher, because Stacy's a good teacher. And I feel like that's a skill that I never really got. And I've been working on it. So you guys are going to help me by creating topics that I can teach you. And it will be awesome. And it'll also help inspire me with topics for the YouTube channel. Okay. But don't worry. Hopefully when the YouTube channel is launched, I'll be able to give you guys the link and you guys can all register. And then I'll just have a whole bunch of really cool stuff in there for you on the regular. I'll try and do a weekly video. Right on. Are there any shares? Anybody have anything they want to share? Want to come over and just talk about what you went through? How you created it? Thank you, Mary. That was sweet. No shares? I see people are dropping off like flies already, so it's okay. I appreciate you guys. We're going to get that survey. And when you're done with it, just put done in the chat and then we'll know. And then we're going to get an email out to you so that you can get access to that course. Okay. This is exciting. Also, I want you to save the date, February 18th. We're doing that focused forward 90-day planning event. That's where we're going to get those 100-day journals. Bring your 100-day journal to that event, because I'm going to walk you through how to use it so that you can get a whole bunch of the things that you want to get accomplished within that 100-day period. Cool? All right. Well, I will see you guys on February 18th then. You guys have an amazing evening. Oh, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. Well, I was going to let them get their survey done. Oh, and they still got to put done in the chat. My bad. Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay. Yeah. Look at that. Okay. Yeah. Is this Mitch? Mitch, Chris, they're done with their surveys. I don't know how long the survey was, but I appreciate you giving me the feedback. I think it's only 10 questions. Marilee's done. Julie's done. Who's this last one right here? Merle? Merle's done. Joe's done. Juliana's done. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you. What are some of the biggest takeaways that you got? Any like aha moments that you got from this training? Anything hit different or click different for you? It's helpful when I get that feedback. Yes, Ra, the recording will be provided. It'll be emailed out. Elisa's done. Quadrants were helpful. Awesome. Cheryl Sturt's in the house. What's up, Cheryl? Robin is done. Committing to 2 hours every day. Yes, Joe. Nina's done. You're welcome, Ra. Merle, consistency with planning and executing. Yeah, consistency is everything. Is that Eric done? Plan 2 months ahead instead of weekly. Yes, that is absolutely right, ma'am. Erica's done. Lisa's done. Shannon's done. Thank you. I can't wait to go see what topics you guys want. Don't worry, I'm not going to make a deck. I won't make a presentation. We'll have more workshopy forms. Charles is done. Wilfred, thank you. You are welcome. Have fun on your weekend getaway. Kobe's done. Elaine is done. What was your top takeaway from the training? Done, Christine. Pam is done. Thank you. Carl, finished. I love that he's like, I'm not going to say done, finished. Eric is done. Antoine is done. Eric is done. Thank you, guys. This is amazing. Woo! No more excuses, just get it done. Terry Scort completed. Yes. Jenny's done. Juliana, stick to my list. Yes. I'm going to say something right now that I was explaining earlier. Sometimes when you wake up, you're not in the mood to do stuff. Anybody else? Wake up and like, oh, I don't really want to face today. Deanna's done. Benita's done. Ruth is done. Thank you. Top takeaways, 4-quadrant classification and task management. Yes. The quadrant is everything. It's everything. Is it a prayer shawl? Yes. How did you know? That's amazing, Shannon. Antoine, I love the mornings. Okay. So sometimes finished. I think that's out. Sometimes we wake up in the morning and it's like, oh, life is lifing right now. And I just don't know if I feel like doing the things. And the problem with that is that sometimes we'll let our moods and our emotions dictate our actions. And those feelings, we need to have a little mantra in our head that's like, forget the feelings. I got to follow my plan. So you've got to get some awareness. Kara's done. Thank you. Stuck on 10 errors out. Okay. Paula Solis finished. Michael's done. This is awesome, you guys. Thank you. Now, when you're waking up, or if you ever just get into a mood or a funk where you're like, I just don't feel like doing that right now, you have to explore that, right? If that's a consistent thing and it's the same thing every time that you don't feel like doing, that's called procrastination or a fear of actually facing the thing. So sometimes you can make the best plans, but when you go to take action, the mood or the feeling can dictate whether or not you bring and show up your best self, right? So get yourself aware, because between now and February 18th, when we do this 100-day planning, I want you to be really aware of when I go to do those things, am I stalling? And when I reflect on how did today go, did I do everything I set out to do? Or is there like a pattern in the task that I keep avoiding? And I want to talk about that on the 100-day planning, because if you're going to make the best laid plans but take no action, you may as well not even have the plan, because then you're not being true to what you said you were going to do. And it starts to affect your self-esteem and your confidence. So I want you to start, just for the next 4 weeks, explore as you do these plans and as you plan your week and as you implement, find out, is there any pattern where when I didn't get something done, was it because of my mood? Or was it because I was overstimulated or overwhelmed by the thought of doing the task? That self-awareness is going to be very helpful for when you go to do your 100-day planning. Make sense? Cool. Cool. Michael Cook is in the house. What's up, Michael? Jennifer, I'm glad. The fear stops me. Okay. Shannon, the fear stops a lot of people. What we need to identify is, what is it that you're afraid of? Right? There's 2 fears we're usually afraid of. And most of you will say that it's a fear of failure or the fear of success, but I'm here to tell you the fear is not being good enough or not being loved. So when you're looking at that task and you're afraid to do it, you might be afraid that you won't do it good enough. And if that's true, then that goes into the, I'm afraid I won't be good enough. And it might be because you have a little rule or a belief that's playing in your head telling you that you can't do it, or you can't do it. You don't know how. You've never done that before. Nobody else is being successful with that. You fill in that list of the inner monologue, and it'll keep you stuck dead in your tracks. So what you have to ask yourself is, what must I do that I don't want to do in order to do this, in order to get what I want? And usually you'll get a little bit of a list there, the things that you must do that you don't want to do. In our academy, a lot of times it's calling brokers, right? Or it's trying to negotiate a deal or ask for a price reduction or call lenders. There's always a task that scares us. And it's usually because we don't feel competent in that task. But here's where the undeniable truth is that as soon as you do the task, you're going to be exposed to it. You're going to identify exactly what you don't understand. And then as you reapproach and do it again, you're going to have a little bit more information to execute it a little bit better the next time. And the more you do that in that repetition, the less scary it becomes, because now you're just learning something new. And if you just give yourself that grace and tell yourself, yeah, this task is scary. I don't really want to do it because I might mess it up. But you know what? I need to do it and take a stab at it at least, because I've got to figure out what about this do I not think I understand or know how to do. And once you go to execute it, it's going to become painfully obvious what that thing is. Then you know what it is, so you practice that. But without taking any action, you'll never know. And I'm constantly telling folks, like, you could either choose to fail through massive action, or you could choose to fail by no action. One of those two gets you closer to your goal. So you gotta change your relationship with hard. Change your relationship with doing hard things. Because as soon as you decide, yeah, it's gonna be difficult, it's not gonna be easy, but I'm gonna give it my best every time. And every time I approach it, I'm gonna learn something different. And I'm gonna take a different angle, or I'm gonna do it a different way until I get it right. It's a perfect example of when we're trying to run ads. If I'm trying to run ads to my book so that people will buy it and I can spread the word, it's so difficult at first. And sometimes it's so daunting that I'm like, oh my God, just burn it to the ground. Done with this. But if I give up, then I don't have the reach. I don't help people. So giving up isn't an option. So I have leverage on myself. So what you have to do is figure out what's the leverage that you need to get on yourself. And the best way to do that is to ask yourself, what do I gain once I do the one thing I fear? What do I gain? Then you have to ask yourself, what's the ultimate cost if I don't do it and I don't get that thing? What will happen a year from now, 3 years from now, 5, 10, 20? And that starts to be very heavy and weigh on you. And pretty soon there's going to be a point where you're like, you know what? I would rather live with the fear and overcoming it than live with the regret of not doing anything. Does that make sense? Is that fair? Because regret, it sounds like, wow, I really wish I would have done this. Or if I would have just done that, my life would be different. Nobody wants to live that way. High achievers, we fear regret. I fear regret more than I fear, if that makes sense. So you've got to get yourself to that point of leverage where you just do it because you don't want to live with regret. That's how I motivate myself. I hope that helped. All right. A sleep meditation link. Oh, I have that. I have the link. Oh, you're finding it? Okay. It's under the meditations with Jen.
I got signed out of everything.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry. I think I might be able to go find it. No, you got it? Okay.
I can say amazing things.
Cool. You fear regret too, Juliana? Yeah. Because, one of the voices, the voice that's in your head that's telling you, what will people think of me? Or what if I mess this up? That's fear talking, right? Fear is going to keep you stuck in inaction, and inaction is not going to get you towards your goal. But if you're listening to the man, I really wish, like when you're lying on your deathbed and you're thinking about, I really wish I would have done this and it would have changed everything, but I was just too afraid. For some reason, we get a lot of courage on the deathbed. How can you harness that now so that you don't have to worry in the future that you're going to have regret? That's how I try to motivate myself and get my leverage so that I just do the thing that I'm too afraid to do. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Yes, Tony, regret, just do it anyway. That motivates. Yes. All right. Anybody out there still need to do the survey? I'm so excited that you guys participated in this. I can't wait for February. Get that 100-day planning journal. It's by John Lee Dumas. I should probably meet the guy since he's changed my life and he doesn't even know it. Maybe I'll get him on the podcast to interview him. I think get that journal, come to the February 18th training, and I'm going to teach you guys how to walk through that. I know Stacy's trying to find the meditation, so I think I can go find it. Let me do this. I want to help. I want to help the peeps find it. So, and I know right where it is if I can get logged in. Oh, you found it? It's on the RMFIA channel.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
And it's the Alpha Sleep Meditation Cap. Yeah, perfect. There's a whole playlist that I have there if you want to share it with them. Yeah, you guys, we're going to just share the whole playlist with you also. So I have these little meditation and hypnosis clips on our remote multifamily apartment investing with Jen and Stacy channel. and they'll help you. So if you're out there trying to pitch a deal, I have one in there about pitching deals. If you want to believe that you're a money magnet, I have one in there to be a money magnet, so you attract money to you. I have one in there to go from a beta brainwave state to an alpha brainwave state. That one I highly recommend doing once a day. I have another one in there. It's maybe 6 minutes, and it's about calling back your energy and cutting all of your energetic cords so that you have all of your power within you to face the day. There's a lot of just mental prep types of getting your mind primed for the day videos in there. Plus, there's also it's an 8-hour black screen sleep hypnosis to train yourself to sleep. And all of them are recorded that I've had them out there for a while. So you can do the meditation with Jen playlist and just save that on your YouTube channel. And you can use whichever ones you feel like are going to help you for the day. Cool. Mahalo, Tanya. It was exciting. You know what? If there's no more questions and everybody's got their survey completed, I literally cannot wait. I cannot wait to give you access to that mindset course. I want you, when you get access to that course, dive in. Go straight for I'm going to teach you about routines, rituals. You're going to be about resiliency and learning what your resiliency factor is, what your score is. There's activities in there to strengthen your resiliency activity and your score. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there. So if you start there, and for those of you that are into investing, real estate investing or multifamily investing, I have an entire module in there about how to plan your 90 days and your milestones to get into your first deal. So there's really cool stuff in there. But it was awesome seeing you guys tonight. I'll see you on February 18th. And thank you for the emoji loves. I just started to walk away and I saw all the hearts. Love you guys. Thank you.